It's time now to take a spin with Headline Roulette. These are the most compelling, random, and interesting headlines you may have missed over the week. Today's headline dealer is post-millennial, and human events editor-in-chief, Libby Emmons. Libby, are you ready? Headline number one, Booker slammed for alleged Nazi salute to Kelly Dems just months after Musk was dragged for the same gesture. Well, isn't this sweet and funny at the same time?
Yeah, it sure is. So Cory Booker was out there in California and he gave what we have now been informed reliably by mainstream media is a Nazi salute. We have been told this repeatedly that Elon Musk did this and he is absolutely the worst guy ever. And now Cory Booker has done it. So of course, all of the mainstream media outlets have come out and condemned Cory Booker and said that he is a horrible person for having done this. Except, of course, none of them did that. Not a single one. Not the New York Times, not the Washington.
Not a one.
Not any of them. None of them even took notice. Instead, some of them maybe complained, that Republicans are calling out Cory Booker pointlessly over this. And here he is. Yeah. So, it's not exactly tit for tat.
Their projection, their hatred for certain people politically often overcomes, I guess, their strategic thinking in future, because this was such a generic gesture. They had to have realized later on that this was absolutely going to haunt them down the road, as every politician ever waves at his audience at some point in their lives like this. Headline number two, Miss Rachel doubles down on support for children in Gaza. Here's the clip that everyone was talking about. Here you go.
Let's go back to sleep, Rahaf. We're so tired. See the bunny sleeping till it's nearly noon. Shall we wake them with a merry tune? They're so still. Are they ill? Wake up soon. Just pretend to sleep.
Libby, so Miss Rachel is back in the headlines. And remember the first time she came on the headlines, she had, I guess, excused herself from the public eye because she couldn't take any criticisms at all, I guess. And she runs this really low production show for kids. I will confess, I played a few clips of Miss Rachel from my own 2-year-old back in the day. But I will say that we abandoned Miss Rachel a long time ago in exchange for Gilligan's Island and Leave It to Beaver, so we're having a much better time these days. But this episode just seems like she's taking the politicization of children a step further than is called for.
Yeah, she sure is. And of course, she engaged with this child who is in Missouri, who is a refugee and likes her show, and she heard about it. And so she engaged with the girl, which sure, kids like you, why not engage with them? She went on to, this girl is a Palestinian. She said that her work for her advocacy for children in Gaza was not political. And she's been very clear that it's not political. But just a few days ago, she posted a clip on Instagram calling on leaders to be ashamed of themselves for their quote unquote silence over Gaza. So this is clearly a political act. She doesn't like when she's criticized for it. And she also doesn't like when people call her out and say, why only the Palestinian children? Why not the children of Sudan?
Yeah.
Why not the children, in places that are struggling all over the place in the world? Why do you only care about these children? She says, no, I care about all the children. Of course, she wasn't there for the Bibas children who were murdered by Hamas. And this is a case of selective empathy that she's got going on. And she doesn't like being told that that's what she's doing. But of course, that's exactly what it is. And we see that from so many celebrities these days.
Well, she'll certainly have an audience in the blue states, but I don't think a lot of red states are going to buy that little pitch. Headline number three, scientists uncover 3 asteroids making their way in Earth's direction, hiding behind Venus. All right, we're going astrological here. Your take on the meteorites? Are we going to have to worry about this in the next few months?
Probably not. If we were crashed into by a meteoroid, though, I think a lot of other problems would just automatically disappear while we dealt with that incredible
true.
cleanup. That would be really pretty bad. What would we have, like tsunamis? Everything would be very terrible. It would be go the way of the dinosaurs, quite literally. But yeah, I think that it's good people are looking out into the universe to see what's coming our way. And if it's our time, Chanel, it's our time. There's nothing for it.
Well, I think it might be a great solution to nuclear de-armament. I mean, we could just shoot all our nukes into space and, disassemble the asteroids and solve a lot
Right.
of world problems, maybe.
Hope none of it comes back to us.
Libby Emmons.
We'll see.
No, exactly. Libby Emmons, a pleasure as always. Thank you for joining us this Monday.
Thanks so much, Chanel.
Well, that's all the time we have for Headline Roulette and for Fine Point tonight. Thank you for joining us. Remember to download the OEN Live app on your TV and your favorite streaming devices. You can also catch any Fine Point episodes you may have missed right there in the app with our video on demand feature. So spread the word. I leave you with this. I say let the world go to hell, but I should always have my tea. Good night, Godspeed. Until tomorrow.